Welcome to dotCMS, the only universal content management system designed to manage all your sites and apps at scale across all your brands, channels, and languages. Maintaining a unified brand voice and visual identity across sites, updating shared content, or tailoring content for regions is challenging. dotCMS simplifies this complexity. Our multi-tenant architecture lets you govern all your digital assets from a single platform, simplifying your processes and slashing costs. Empower your developers with dotCMS's flexible API-first architecture, ready for any single or multi-channel project at any scale. Build traditionally or headlessly on any stack, using the front-end framework of your choice. Regardless of the way you deliver content, the Universal Visual Editor allows you to give content authors the tools they need to manage pages. The Universal Visual Editor has an intuitive drag-and-drop interface, so content teams can build page layouts, update content, and go to market quickly with no developer needed. Your content team can also transform how you engage with your audience by developing tailor-made content that resonates with each visitor using our dynamic personalization capabilities. Plus, with our built-in A/B testing, you can continuously refine your copy and layouts based on real user data, ensuring your content resonates with your audience and drives traffic, conversions, and revenue. Your IT team can rest assured that security and compliance are at the heart of everything we do at dotCMS. We ensure that your content and data are protected with the highest standards of security in the dotCMS cloud. But if you still want control over where your data is stored, our Cloud Anywhere option lets you host dotCMS on your own cloud infrastructure, with the benefit of it being managed by our team. At dotCMS, we pride ourselves on providing direct, personalized support to each of our clients. Our dedicated experts are ready to help you succeed with dotCMS. And if you need extra hands, our global network of partners are always ready to assist with web design, strategy, or implementation. Ready to empower your entire team, from developers to content authors? Visit dotCMS.com today to find out how dotCMS enables you to seamlessly manage, optimize, and scale content across all your channels and languages.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the dotCMS Summer 2025 product webinar. Today, you'll be seeing some recently released new and updated features, and we'll be giving you a sneak peek into what's coming for the rest of 2025 and into 2026. We'll start with setting up AI-enabled search, and then take a close look at our new software development kits, followed by an overview of our new Future Time Machine feature, a look at our new content edit screen, and finally, an update on our Evergreen infrastructure. Then we'll move into our innovation showcase with Maria, and Freddie will cover our product roadmap before we end with an open Q&A session. Please don't wait to ask questions until the end, though. Feel free to ask questions using the meeting chat throughout the presentations, and we'll do our best to answer them as we go. Lastly, the roadmap and descriptions of future functionality are good faith estimates and not to be taken as hard commitments to delivering specific functionality. Thanks very much for attending the 2025 Summer Product webinar, and look forward to seeing you in the Q&A.
Hi, my name is Laura Cabarizo, and I'm the Solutions Engineer at dotCMS. As someone who loves thinking through multiple ways to solve problems, one of my favorite things to do is research information, and .ai makes finding that information easier than ever. So let's get started. If you go into your dotCMS interface, go under DevTools, and you'll see a new section called .ai. This exciting new interface gives you multiple options on looking through different ways to configure artificial intelligence inside of your environment. The first thing we want to do is go to our app screen and make sure that our .ai is enabled. Click on .ai, go into your system host file, and you'll see all the fields you need to get started with .ai. First, you'll want to visit openai.com to register for your API key, and then you'll enter it into this first field. After that, you'll enter in your allowed model names, some different role prompts that we've come up with, The role prompt we use is, you are a travel bot, an AI assistant to help travel content creators generate and rewrite travel-focused content to be displayed on their travel website. After filling in all of these fields, most of them already entered for you by default, you'll hit save. And that's when we can start really playing with the magic of AI. You'll come into your developer tools, you'll hit .ai, and you'll get to see all the different things that you can play with inside of our dev tools. The first tab that we should visit is our Manage Embeddings and Indexes. With this tab, we'll manage all of our embeddings. On this screen, we're going to enter in all of the different types of content we would like to index for our AI assistant to be able to search through. As you can see, we already have several different indexes entered into the system. Now what we can do is play with them, and this is the most fun part in my opinion. Come into .ai's search and chat with .cms and get started. I've already prompted it with snowboard as my query. All you have to do is hit submit, and you can see the power of .ai in action. It will take your search terms, go through the indexes for your content types that we visited earlier, and show all of those matches in order from closest to furthest. Now, perhaps you want to be able to chat with your AI assistant instead. This one's really fun too. What you'll do is give it a new prompt, and hit submit. It thinks through and gives you a detailed story map of all the information that you were looking for. Again, this information is retrieved from the indexes that we entered into this page. This gives you a lot of options on the way that your content can be managed. If you happen to have a products page and you want to give detailed product information, or you want your AI bot to chat with your customers to find the best information and the best resources, best products for them, this is a fantastic way to do it. We're going to switch over to the .devs homepage so that you can see the .ai assistant in action. As you can see, we have our AI assistant open and ready for the search. Of course, this is currently live, so you're more than welcome to go to our dev.dotcms.com website to try it out for yourself. I'm going to ask it a question. How do I install .cms? And hit search. As you can see, it gives us information based on the query that you entered. How do I install .cms? Well, let's go check out our quick start guide. And it takes you directly to the information you need. Perhaps you need a little more help. That's okay, of course. So we'll just go over to our AI chat, and our wonderful .ai assistant will get to work answering your questions. .ai can be a powerful search tool, but that's not all it does. You can use .ai for many other things, including using workflows to auto-tag SEO onto your content, or to generate new images for your blogs. You can even use it to help you write your future content. As you can see, .ai is a powerful tool to help you help your patrons on their journey. And I'm very excited to see what amazing things we can create together with .ai.
Hello, my name is Freddy Montes. I'm the head of product at dotCMS, and today I want to show you the latest about dotCMS PHP and JavaScript SDK. But more importantly, how it helps your team to go to market faster with less complexity and more maintainable code. Any developers teams today are facing the same challenges, right? Number one, enabling content author to in-context visual editing experience is hard. Too much time is spent by building and maintaining low-level APIs and integrations. Onboarding developers into new headless projects, not always an easy task. And teams are often balancing between different JavaScript frameworks, PHP frameworks, and all of that. Our goal with our SDK is precisely eliminate that friction and give your team the power to move across different projects with ease. and the best developer experience that we can provide. We build this SDK with 4 key principles in mind. Number 1, minimal custom code. We want your developers to build your product and not build our integrations. We want your developers to have a consistent developer experience across any frameworks and libraries. Integration with the Universal Visual Editor has to be simple, quick, and easy. All of that without sacrificing anything about our enterprise capabilities. Multi-site, multi-tenant, audit, everything. You stay fully headless. You bring any frameworks you want. We handle an easy connection with dotCMS project. For our JavaScript, this is our first stable release after we collect a lot of feedback from our customers that they were using previous version in their production environments. Now are 5 libraries hosted in NPM under our dotCMS organization. Number 1, add dotCMS client, which will handle all the communication with our API. And you can fetch your pages, your content, and your navigation to build your pages. And more important, now you can use advanced GraphQL queries if your requirements need it. Then we have add.cms React and add.cms Angular, which will provide the rendering of your page in these libraries and frameworks, and also the integration with the Universal Visual Editor. All of that seamlessly, no intervention of yours is required. Then we have add.cms UVE, which is our low-level API integration with the UVE that can be used with any framework. And last but not least, add.cms types, which is fully TypeScript support for the better developer experience with autocomplete and proper documented properties and methods. For PHP, we're very excited because this is our first official release and now includes object-oriented APIs for pages, layout, navigation, contentlets, etc. Simplified client initialization with configuration and authorization. We're bringing the starter kits and examples for Laravel and Symfony, the 2 most popular frameworks for PHP out there. We added native exception handling support. And of course, last but not least, fully integrated with the Universal Visual Editor. And it's ready to go. You can get it using Composer. We know that our customer value our enterprise features, so we make sure that our SDKs support them. Multi-site management, multi-tenant support, and multi-language content delivery. Advanced workflows, permissions are all working. The SDK simply gives you a easier, faster, and better way to build on top of dotCMS while we keep all the enterprise functionality. And your teams are going to love this because it's less boilerplate code, faster deliveries, fully integrated with the Universal Visual Editor, easier learning curve, faster onboardings, lower maintenance costs, and way less technical debt. And now let me show you a little demo. Okay, I have a clean Next.js app, which is running right here. Only have hello world, which is coming from here, which is the page. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to kill this server and I'm going to run npm install for the client, the React, the types, and the UVE. Perfect. Now I'm running this back. And here, I'm going to import create.cms client from .cms add client, and I can initialize the client right here with my .cms URL and token that I already have stored in my environmental variable. With this client, I can start doing requests to fetch .cms pages, and I can do it by passing the path, right, that I'm getting from the URL. In this case, for now, I'm just going to pass it this, and I'm going to render the page title, which is response, page, asset, page, and friendly name. So if I refresh this right here and I refresh, we shall see our title. Now, since .cms handled all the routing, we need to create a catch-all route in Next.js. In this case, it's done by creating this folder between brackets, and I'm going to move the page right there. So what this is going to do that whatever URL I throw a Next.js try to load is going to use the same component page. So now I can use path, which is represent the path that I'm sending here. If I go to example/destination, which is another route that I know that exists in my .cms instance, I can see that title. So that means that it's working. Now, title is cool, but we need more than that. Like, it's not only the title. So I already have prepared a component called myPage. This myPage component receives the whole response. And under the hood, where the magic happens, this component is importing a few things. It's importing some types for TypeScript, but it's also important dotCMS layout body, which is the React component that it will render all the rows, columns, containers, and contentless and everything. And they use editable dotCMS page, which handles our subscription to the UVE. So this component will take response that we're sending from the page, and with that, we immediately initialize the use editable.cms page, is going to subscribe to the events of the Universal Visual Editor. This will return a page asset, and with that page asset, we can render the dotCMS layout body component, which is the one that is driving all this information. Right now, we only see the title because along with the page asset, we need to send the components that is going to render each piece of content. There's a map of key value. The key is the content type, variable name, and the value is the component. In this case, I'm using this proxy approach, and as you can see, is all the keys is going to only render the content-led title. But if I want to render some specifics, here I can call some specific components. I already have one that is called banner. So I can import that banner. And if I refresh right here, we can now see the banner. So now, how do I connect this with UVE? I can come here. As you can see, I'm in the editor, but right now it's just editing the page that is built with templates and things of dotCMS. I can go to the apps, and I can go to the Universal Visual Editor app. And here in the demo.cms.com, I can set up the config. In this case, I'm saying everything in the index, I wanted to edit with localhost 3000, which is my Next.js app. And I go to edit the page. I can now see my Next.js app. And from here, I can hit edit and I can change stuff and I can publish. And now you can see the page being editable. So just to recap, we install libraries. We create our client using the .cms URL and the auth token. With that client, we can fetch the page. We send the response to the my page. And in my page, using the React library, we can initialize the hook that is going to subscribe to the UVE. And we can also pass the page asset to the .cms layout body, which is going to render the page using the components that we pass in the map. And that's pretty much it.
Hello, I'm Jamie. I'm a technical writer with dotCMS, and most days I can be found toiling in the documentation mines. Today I've come above ground, though, to talk to you about time travel. I thought it would be funny here to have like a tinfoil hat that I put on, but unfortunately, mine is still at the dry cleaner, so we will make do without. If you have any questions about anything I have said or will say, you can drop a comment in the chat on one of these two sides. I'm not sure which, but we got you either way. So without further ado, let's enter the fourth dimension by way of the UVE. So let's say this is our demo site, and let's say it's your site. And you want to have a sale on Friday. So we're at 20% off. Let's say on Friday, that's going to go up to 33% off, right? And so we set a publish date for it, Friday. Oh, look at that, Friday the 13th. We got one of those coming up. So strap in for that, right? You know what? In that case, look spooky doing it, right? That's unlucky. Publish, and first thing that you're going to notice is this little toast message up here saying the content was saved, but it can't be published because it is scheduled to be published. The second thing you'll notice is, but the changes are right here. They're right in front of me. Well, that's because we're still in the draft mode. Draft and preview modes both show you the working versions of content, but the version that your users are seeing is under published. And as you can see, that hasn't changed yet until, and here's the time machine part, you open up this date picker, select Friday the 13th, and there's the change. So that is the shortest way I can demonstrate this to you, but let's pause here to talk a little bit about how this came to be. So in legacy versions of dotCMS, we had a standalone feature called the time machine, which let you peer back or forward in time according to a similar date picker to see past and future versions of content. Since then, those two functionalities have kind of broken off into separate parts of the product. So nowadays, for the past part of it, we recommend people use static push publishing to maintain an arbitrary number of content versions. While in the future, this is it. And because this is integrated into the page editor, we feel it's more immediately useful this way. So that's a little bit of background on this. Let's hop back into draft mode now, and let's try something a little bit more ambitious. Let's say you have a date of note coming up, some kind of holiday or special day, and we want, for that day, we want to completely remove this content, this banner content, and replace it with a whole different one. So let's open that up, and now we're going to make use of the expiration date. So June 16th, we'll say, stroke of midnight, it expires. Publish. Now, let's just do a completely new one right here. So let's add a new banner, and I already know, let's see, I think there's a frog in here. Let's call this Frog Day. Of course, we're suspending disbelief here too, right? Because June 16th is not Frog Day. World Frog Day is actually March 20th. So mark your calendars for that. Hoppity hop. Yeah. All right. And publish. Once again, in draft mode, we can see both versions of the content right here, because we have compressed time, right? We've flattened it out. And to reinsert time into this, we simply use the machine. So here we are, 6:09, and then we jump forward and boom. And you can do this with as many pieces of content on the page as you want. You can also chain them so that this one expires just as another one comes live. So there's all kinds of things that you can do with this. And I think that about covers what I came here to say. So thank you all for your time, and hope you had fun. Bye.
Mark Boudelet here. I'm the Director of Outbound Product Management, and I'm here to show you the new Edit Content screen. The new Edit Content screen is part of our overall UX redesign, which makes the user experience more consistent across the application and more intuitive to use, which of course helps content teams get content to market faster. The new Content Edit screen is available to all Evergreen customers and will be included in our upcoming LTS in June of 2025. So to enable the Content Edit screen, or the new Content Edit screen, you go into the Content Types tool and select the content type that you want to edit, or you want to add the Edit Content screen to, and click the Edit button, and you'll see the toggle here to turn the new editing experience on or off. And then once you enable it for a content type, then users that are editing content for that content type can come into the piece of content, and they'll see the new content editor here. And then they have a way of turning or toggling off the new Edit Content screen and going back to the old one. And then it can be turned back on as well. And then when you go back and forth between the old experience and the new experience, or vice versa, you don't lose any content edits that you've made to the piece of content, so it retains all the history and versions and everything. So the new Content Edit screen has all of the content fields and content tabs grouped together here, and still has a way to lock and unlock content, which then toggles on and off the workflow actions for locked and unlocked content. Still has a way to preview the piece of content in our universal visual editor. And then on the sidebar, just has a lot of content information and metadata about that piece of content. And then a way to look at the languages that the piece of content is translated into or can be translated into, and then and switch between the locales. Then also a way to look at all of the workflow information, what steps the piece of content is in, and so forth. We also have a new tab in the sidebar, which is our collaboration tool. It allows you to message team members back and forth about the piece of content, and then a way to toggle the sidebar on and off. So when you toggle it off, it gives you just a more real estate on the screen to make updates to the piece of content. And then the new edit content screen comes with a set of new pickers, one for the site folder field. So an easy way to just select the folder or the site that the piece of content is associated with. And related content field also has a new picker. Just allows you to easily choose one or multiple items to associate or to relate to this piece of content. And then the category field type also has a new picker as well. And then there are several updates to the new edit content screen that will be rolling out soon. We will have support for custom fields within the piece of content, and we'll be including the settings and the history for the piece of content as tabs appear as well. So it's easy to get to the version history and the settings for that content. And then we'll be allowing customizations of what fields are shown in the relationship picker as well. So you can add different fields in here when choosing a piece of related content in this picker. And then there's lots of other small changes and fixes that we're making to the new edit content screen, which is going to make it a really powerful and easy to use tool to help manage content inside of dotCMS. So we look forward to hearing your feedback about the new content edit screen. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Steve Freudenthaler. I'm a Director of Engineering at dotCMS, and I'm really excited today to have a few minutes to talk to you about Evergreen and what we've been up to help with upgrades. So first, I'll reiterate our vision and where we're going. We want to create a world where releases no longer create anxiety and stress. To do that, we're going to have built up the trust and confidence of our customers and ourselves. That's going to mean we're going to release often, and releases are going to be exciting things that we all look forward to because they're easy, and we all can't wait to use and enjoy the latest improvements, changes, and fixes that we've deployed in dotCMS environments. So here's where we're at, a snapshot of June 2025. It's been about a year since we've started a push to move environments to .Evergreen. It started with opt-in. We had good adoption. We built a lot of momentum in our opt-in. Today, we sit around 26% of our dotCMS cloud environments in Evergreen. That's a fantastic number. That's 0 a year ago. And I think what's really compelling about it is that we're building that momentum, and the feedback is helping us build more and more confidence and a better and better experience. The customers on Evergreen are loving it. They're enjoying the speed the speed of release, the frequency of change they can get, the patches they're getting quickly, the new functionality, and I think perhaps most importantly that it's not something they have to think about, upgrades all the time and compatibility. It's happening for them, and they're getting a lot of those benefits without a lot of the challenges that customers have shared with us for years. This year, we're expecting to see 50% of the customer environments be on Evergreen. That's a huge milestone for us. Today, I'm excited to share it's the most popular version on dotCMS Cloud. Next year, I'll love to share with you that it's more than half of our customer base. And last but not least, we're at a point now where we have the confidence that Evergreen is now our standard for upgrades and new customers alike. The last year of changes and execution have given us the confidence to be able to make this decision and know that all of our customers, existing and net new, will be able to enjoy the latest and greatest in a stable Evergreen environment. The last thing I wanted to touch on is something that's come up in that feedback. We've seen it a few times and had lovely discussions with our partners and with our customers alike. And this is the concept about, okay, if I'm on Evergreen, how do changes happen? And really, this middle bar talks about the entire change flow for us, right? We'll write code. When we release a feature, we'll ship it behind a feature flag, which means that it's out there in the code base, but it's not something that is turned on. Then we can enable an early adopter program where customers or users can adopt that new feature. And then once we're confident in that feedback loop, and the feature is ready to go and we're ready to go prime time with it, we can turn it on by default. And if there is a deprecation involved, which isn't all the time, but sometimes there'll be a deprecation involved, then you'll be able to see at the bottom that flow, which is it will give notice. We'll give about 6 months notice at minimum that we're going to deprecate a feature whenever possible. There might be the odd security incident or patch that we can't wait on. But if it's something that we're driving, there'll be 6 months notice before we deprecate the functionality, and then we'll disable the functionality, and then subsequently we'll remove it from code. And this is all designed to be able to give you some lead time and stability for a .Evergreen environment that's going to keep pace and keep upgrading, keep adding functionality as we go. But we understand that customer implementations against .CMS can be complex. And so having that lead time and having that expectation of how code will be deprecated and that there will be time to adapt and to implement against other endpoints if needed, that'll be available to you. And that's all for me today. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of the day and enjoy .CMS.
Hi, everyone. This is Maria Fernandez, and I am Head of UX and a Product Manager here at dotCMS. And I'm going to be walking you through our Innovation Showcase for the year 2025. Just a big disclaimer, what I'm going to be showing you is a demo of forward-looking stuff that we've been exploring. This is what we want to build. This is meant to generate excitement and to align everyone on the future innovations that are coming down the pipeline. But it is in no way a promise to deliver this by any specific time frame because plans change, things evolve. You know, we still have to conduct feasibility assessments, so things might change. But it will inspire and align. That's the whole purpose. And it helps us visualize the innovation that we've been discussing internally, and it helps us show externally where we're headed. And it's meant to generate excitement, and it's meant to be fun. So it's in the form of a scenario, and it features 3 popular personas that use our CMS. So it's Rose, our marketing manager, who is collaborating with Hassan, our developer, and Troy, our website designer, in putting together a landing page for a promo for Valentine's Day. But they're going to be reusing this landing page for other, for spring and for fall. So they want to make that reusable. So it's a very interesting scenario, and it's going to feature a lot of existing functionality and also a lot of new functionality, including the new .CMS redesign that basically touches on every single screen of the UI and brings you a better experience. So let's get started with Rose. She's a marketing manager, and she's putting together this promo landing page for Valentine's. So in order to do that, she logs onto .CMS, and she's welcomed with a dashboard of analytics. And from this analytics, she can see how her website is currently performing, and she gets all sorts of interesting information. But what's really interesting for her in this particular scenario is a bunch of images that are trending or a bunch of products that are trending currently on her website. So she thinks, I'm going to reuse those trending products and I'm going to create this Valentine's promo page using them. So she's going to select them all and add them to a project that she's already been working on, and she's using it to curate all of her assets and things like that that are related to the project. So she sees her existing project, or she can create a new one if she wanted to, and she sees all the assets that she selected and she's about to add. She also sees the members of the project, and she's going to be adding Troy, who is the website designer, as a member to the project. So she adds him, and now she moves over to projects. And in the projects page, she can see all the different projects that she's managing at the moment. But for this particular scenario, she's focused on the Valentine's seasonal promo. So she opens that project, and she can see all the assets that she's curated. She can see the members of the project. And there's a side panel here. And in that side panel, she can see collaboration happening around the project. So she's able to message Troy, the website designer, and say, hey, Troy, here's this project I've added you to. I've been using it to curate all these different assets that are performing really well. I want you to use them to create this new landing page for Valentine's. And she goes ahead and sends that message to Troy. And Troy, who's also a .CMS user, is getting notifications via email. He's also getting notifications in the app. And he logs on to .CMS and looks at the project, opens the site panel. He sees the collaboration that's been going on, the message the Rose just sent him, and he gets to work. And in the side panel, you'll notice that he has access to an AI assistant. So he's going to be using the AI assistant in dotCMS to put together this new landing page because, the AI assistant is going to have the context of the project that he's working on. So he just goes and gives him instructions and says, use the project, use the assets that are in the project, create this new landing page, just gives him directions and sends that prompt to the AI assistant. And the AI assistant gets back to Troy, and he's asking him for more information because he wants more context so that he can produce content or the landing page that is on brand. And for that, he needs a voice and tone to be defined. And a lot of enterprises have this definition of their branding guidelines. So this is the place where they would add the tone or define the tone or just point the voice of the app that they're creating to a particular URL or a particular file that contains the branding guidelines. And that way the AI can consume that context and generate content that's on brand. So after giving that information, he clicks generate. The AI assistant gets to work on it, and he ends up with a pretty decent page that he's comfortable with, that he likes. And he goes back to the collaboration side panel for the page that he just created, and he sends a message to Hassan, the developer, and he's like, I have this page, go ahead and make it customizable because marketers are going to want to reuse it for spring. So we switch over to Hassan, who logs onto dotCMS. And in dotCMS, this is a multi-site environment for Hassan. So he's managing several websites. So he's able to just open the one that is pertinent to this scenario, which is the claws.com website. And in here, he sees all the different pages that are available on that website, but he's interested in the promo landing page. So he opens the promo landing page for Valentine's. And in the side panel, again, there's this area where he can define the component configuration. And he wants to define this component configuration because he wants to make some of these components customizable so that the marketers can quickly and easily go back to the page and reuse it for spring. So there's nothing defined at the moment, but he clicks on defining it now, and he works on defining that component configuration using code. He saves that, and all that code is translated into a side panel that enables him and marketers to just play a little with the colors, with the backgrounds, and just modify and reuse an existing landing page really quickly. So he's done with that. So he's going to go to the commenting or collaboration side panel and send a message to Troy, the website designer, and to Rose, the marketing manager, just letting them know that the component configuration is done. The page is actually ready for Rose to review and potentially even publish. So Rose goes and opens the page, and she takes a look at the page. Everything is looking good, but she can actually use AI at the field level to modify, for instance, the title that she sees in this component. She's not particularly happy with it, so she can click the AI button and click rewrite, gets a new version of it. She likes it, and she actually also gets access to the AI assistant. So she's going to go ahead and open that, and she's going to use the AI assistant to create a variant because she wants to run an experiment on this particular page. So she gives the AI assistant the instructions to create a variant for this experiment and sends that over. The AI assistant gets to work. She sees the variant. She's happy with it. She's ready to publish it. So she publishes it by clicking. Actually, before she publishes it, she optimizes it for SEO. Again, using the AI assistant. So she interacts with the AI assistant, asks about SEO, AI assistant responds, and it's ready to go. She can view the settings for SEO if she wanted to from here. And she can also view settings in the side panel for the actual experiment that she's running. So she can see how the traffic is going to be routed, the different settings for the experiment. She's happy with those. So she's ready to publish now. She's going to click publish here, and she's going to publish for now because this is ready to go for Valentine's. So she's done. Everything is up and running, but spring is around the corner, and she wants to get ahead of the game, and she wants to reuse this Valentine's landing page that is currently live. So she just opens the page, and she can go to component configuration that Hassan has enabled for her, the developer, and she can make changes to the font size. She can make changes to the alignment, to the color, for instance, to make it a little bit more appropriate for spring. She can even use AI to generate a new background image that doesn't have hearts, but rather has flowers, which are more appropriate for spring. And she just is able to make a few changes that are on brand that enable her to reuse this web page or this landing page. And she's ready to publish for the future. So she's going to go ahead and click the publish button, and it's scheduled for publication sometime in March for spring. So she's going to go ahead and schedule that, and we go back to viewing the original page, which is the promo for Valentine's. But she's able to see in the date picker that there's something new, there's something up and coming. So if she were to open that future time machine calendar, she could see that on March 21st something is up for publication, and if she were to open that, she could see that it's the new landing page that has been modified for spring. So this is our 2025 Innovation Showcase. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to all your questions and comments about what we're thinking of building all throughout the year. Thank you.
So now, my favorite part. Let's talk about roadmap. This is a big overview of all the roadmap for 2025, and I want to walk you through each one of these items. So let's start. Everything we do is grounded in one simple goal: solving real problems our customers face every day, reducing friction, and delivering intelligent integrated solution without forcing you into complex multi-product ecosystem. So let's start with 2025. Let's begin with a quick recap of what we delivered so far this year. First, we ship a fully redesigned edit content screen. This redesign simplifies the authoring experience, streamlines daily tasks, and ensures consistency across the platform. Next, we introduce dotAI, our new AI-powered site search and chatbot. This delivers true content-aware search, fully understanding your site structure and giving your visitor a much more natural search experience. We also expanded our developer toolkit. We finally launched the stable version of our JavaScript SDK, thanks for all the feedback, and a brand new PHP SDK, making it easier than ever to integrate dotCMS and headless frameworks. And one of my favorites, we launched the Future Time Machine. This allows you to preview scheduled content updates exactly as they will appear on your pages once they're published, helping teams to validate ahead of time and with fully confidence. And finally, we continue to strengthen our core architecture with Evergreen, modernizing our update process and ensure long-term stability and simplified maintenance. All of these features are directly tied to your feedback and the challenge you shared with us. But now let's talk what's coming. And we'll start with Content Drive. At its core, dotCMS has always been more than just a CMS. It has been a digital asset manager at heart. You don't just store files in dotCMS, you store pages, content, images, code, and you serve them dynamically through REST API, GraphQL, the image API, the page API, and more. But while we always had the engine, we have been missing some kind of intuitive management experience. That's what users expect from modern asset management system. Content Drive brings this experience into dotCMS. It will give your team a unified workspace where all content types, whether it's a content, a file, an image, media, or even code, can be organized, browsed, and managed intuitively. We introduce true folder-based navigation because that's how most teams think. They want to organize content around projects, campaigns, departments, not just around system objects. Personalized views allow each user role, author, marketer, developer, to filter and organize content the way that makes sense for their work. We also added safer bulk operation with built-in safety mechanism, prevented accidental deletion, and giving you confidence to managing large libraries. With Content Drive, we're delivering a truly DAM-like experience, fully embedded into dotCMS, but without requiring you to buy or manage a separate DAM product. .ai Copilot. Let's face it, AI is everywhere right now. But to be honest, most AI features today are disconnected. They sit outside your real workflow, and they don't know your business. They don't know your existing content. They don't understand your brand voice. They don't know your audience. And they definitely don't know how your content is performing. This is where .ai Copilot, also known as .pilot, is fundamentally different. We're embedding AI inside your content editing workflow. And more importantly, we're connecting AI with the full context that only dotCMS have access to. So we're going to create this reference system that you can bring internal context directly into your AI interactions. For example, you can reference existing articles, or you can reference live performance data from the analytics, or specific target audiences from the personas, apply real feedback if you reference the feedback that your coworkers left, and then you can repurpose by reference multi-channels, right? This turned .ai Copilot from basic text generator into an AI-powered content strategist, helping you plan, write, optimize, and repurpose contents end to end. And because it's fully embedded into dotCMS, there is no more copy and pasting between disconnected apps or tools. You will stay in your workflow and your AI stay fully aware of your ecosystem. Now let's talk about analytics. One of the biggest challenges that we hear from our customer is, how do we know which content is actually working? Like traditional analytics tools are page-centric. They show you page views, bounce rates, and they don't answer the critical question: which specific assets inside those pages are driving business results? And dotCMS Analytics will change that. With dotCMS Analytics, we're delivering true content intelligence directly inside your CMS. You'll be able to track performance not just at the page level, but at the blog level, at the asset level, and at the component level. You will see exactly which call to actions, banner, videos, or content blocks are actually driving conversions. And we're adding full audience dashboards, allowing you to segment behavior by geography, device type, visitor types, and more. And more importantly, all of this lives fully inside dotCMS. There is no more context switching between CMS and external analytics platform. We're closing the loop here between content creation and content performance, right there where your team works every day. An experiment. We are going to continue to evolve Experiment with you. Experiment has already helped some of our customers to optimize your pages, test variation, and make more informed decisions. As the adoption grows, we're seeing teams with increasingly sophisticated use case, teams that want to go faster, run more granular experiments, and connect their tests directly into their business outcomes. That's where exactly we're taking Experiment next. We're going to make it easier to create and manage variants directly inside the editor. We're improving how the goals are tracked and aligns with your KPIs. And we're deeply integrating experiments with dotCMS Analytics, giving you richer insights into what's working and why. The goal here is simple. Make experimentation and A/B testing simply natural part of your publishing workflow. Fast to launch and easy to manage and driving results. Looking ahead into the second half of 2025, Content Drive will go live broadly across customer tiers. .ai Copilot will continue to evolve, moving it beyond basic text manipulation into fully content orchestration across your entire content ecosystem. Analytics will expand with audience segmentations and eventually custom dashboard building. And Experiment will getting easier and faster and smarter with every release. Everything stayed anchored to the same principle, delivering real customer value inside your CMS without adding operational complexity. At dotCMS, we want to deliver value, ship fast, and solve real problems for the teams who build and manage digital experiences every day. Okay, I answered just one of the questions. I can see the echo, by the way. Yes, the JavaScript SDK is already on NPM published. That's a release candidate version that we are basically changing the tag name. We're sending to our customer that are already using a previous version, the alpha version. We're sending a heads up because we're going to change the tag and we don't want you to get something broken because of that. But we're changing that tag the next week. No, sorry, the week after next week. But you can use it right now if you use the tag next in NPM. So any other questions? We got the Q&A, or you can just put it in the chat. What version of analytics are available in? Does that mean available? Yeah. No, it's not available just yet.
I can expand on that. It will be available first in Evergreen, and then to the next LTS after Evergreen is minted. So the way we do the LTS is that we kind of take the Evergreen at that point in time, and then we give it another tag, and we stop backporting new functionality to it, and just do bug fixing and security patching on them.
Another question, is the roadmap available on your website? If not, we can put one. We can put a version of the website on that.
It's also available through your client success manager. So
yes,
we can certainly get it through that. We definitely can help it for you.
Okay, so another question. There will be an option to use a different AI like Copilot. So when you're creating content, the agent, the dotCMS agent that we're calling AI Copilot, that agent can change the models, but the agent itself and the tools that will be available are going to be within the dotCMS. But you can change the model that will interact with those tools. If the question is regarding like, can you use Copilot to code dotCMS frontend? Yes, you can use Copilot. We use Cursor, Copilot, Cloud Code. Everybody's experimenting with different toolings. Is the AI page editor creator something that you're going to test it with already, or is it just conceptually? Right now it's conceptually, even though I run some POCs, like very basic, very just to wrap my head around it and explore the possibilities, but it's conceptual at this point.
It is one of the things that I'm really interested in. I kind of love AI and I love solving those sorts of problems. So it's definitely one of the things that's on my personal roadmap to try to figure out how we can use this AI and integrate it just across your entire environment to make your lives so much easier.
Another question, Michael is asking, do we have any plans to refresh or on-demand training courses anytime soon? Yes, I don't have the time yet, but it's definitely something that we are keep an eye on it. Like right now, we're very focused on the documentation. We recently put out 5 new getting started guides on all the frameworks that we have examples and starter projects on. We're wrapping that up, and then we're going to go more deep into our core documentation. So this effort of like the training courses will be part of that effort. Do you foresee any opportunity to integrate dotCMS analytics into external tools? This is important. I saw it during the research market. I know that that's what you guys expect. So the idea is to expose all the analytics through REST endpoints so they can be consumed by other systems. Like, okay, I want this to be integrated with Salesforce. There is the endpoint for your analytics. Use it, get the data, feed it to someone else, and the other way around too. But the other way around will be later. First is we are going to expose our analytics to external system, and then we're going to use our analytics to consume external analytics. But yeah, we know it's a requirement. How hard it would be for you to provide us with a proxy parameter for AI tool you have now, so we can proxy to like Fuel IX? Will essentially feel limited from Fuel IX, or because we're going to implement our own feature. I am not familiar with Fuel IX, but this sounds interesting. So I'm literally going to copy this question, and I'm going to get an answer for that because I am not familiar how it works. But like the cool thing is like .ai is fully REST. I mean, everything is exposed through REST. I don't know if that will work in this particular use case that Ryan is mentioning, but I definitely want to explore that.
Yeah, essentially, Freddie, this would be using, not using OpenAI as the LLM, but Fuel AI.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is some limitations we have now as far as the rest of the code that drives our AI feature. If we can look and see, it might be a first step into opening up our current .ai functionality to other models.
Actually, okay, so there are two parts here. The next step for .ai is to bring your own keys. So you can put your key for Anthropic or Grok or whatever you want to use. That's number one. But I think I'm not sure how Fuel IX works. I don't know if it's a bring your own key situation or it's something a little bit different. So he's talking about a proxy that we can just redirect. So I think that what he's saying is like, instead of us hitting some specific OpenAI endpoint, hitting the Fuel one, right? I think that's where this is going. But I'm definitely taking note of this. Yeah, the other piece of this puzzle that I'm personally working on is the dotCMS NCP server. I still don't have how exactly what tools are we going to expose, but definitely I already have two on top of my head. Of course, getting content and workflows that allow the LLM to trigger specific workflows.
Regarding Nico's question, we do have some documents that focus on go live checklists and important notes for upgrading, but I think we're probably due for a refresh on some of those. So I'm going to add that to my short-term list.
Another question, as AI is integrated with the new version of CMS, so I'm curious to know how fast can we build a new website. So there is still no integration of using the AI to build new websites. That's part of the Copilot that we showed today. That's part of that initiative. It's like having an agent that can get information from the .cms content and output not only content, but a website. And a website in .cms consists basically of three things, like the page properties, the layout, and the content that hold that. So it's basically have different agents that can build each one of those, and then one agent that put everything together, and then it spit out a completely new page, or well, in this case, website, which is be multiple pages. So we need to start building like the ones that build the layout, the ones that build the content, the ones that build the page, and then keep iterating on top of that. But yeah, that's definitely the end goal. Another question, can the JavaScript SDK work with Vue.js? The short answer is yes, because we got the dotCMS client and the dotCMS UVE. The dotCMS client will allow you to fetch data from the dotCMS APIs, and the dotCMS UVE will allow you to integrate your page with the Universal Visual Editor. The only thing that we're missing yet so far is we have dotCMS Angular and dotCMS React, which expose a component where you can pass the page response and it will render the page for you. We don't have that in Vue just yet, but we know Vue is really important, and that's our third, like in order of JavaScript framework, that's the third one on priority. Let me see what else. We'd love a way to insert CSS in JavaScript into the .cms backend per role. I guess what Mark is asking here is a way to configure the look and feel of the .cms interface per role. That could be neat, like some kind of like advanced whitelisting. Like advanced you modifying the UI of .cms. I didn't thought about it, to be honest, but that's interesting approach. Thank you, Ryan. I'll shoot an email this day. Custom fields for tools, essentially. Custom fields for tools. I'm not sure I understand that.
So yeah, like the custom field, but instead of for content, like that's the level of freedom he's saying to control how the interface appears for your different personae or
I see.
roles. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mark is an old hand at this, so he always has some pretty
Yeah,
cool
I know. I
ideas.
see him in the community forums too. I'm definitely gonna give it a thought on that. I know white labeling is important. So this will definitely open a whole new world on white labeling. Cool. Do we have any questions in the Q&A? Let me see. No, we're good there. We good? Awesome. Oh, this was a great session. Thank you, everybody, for the feedback. Thank you, everybody, for the questions that were very, very good. I personally took note to reach out to some people. And thank you for the feedback. We can wait to start putting these things on your hands.